We're queued up for one of the biggest KVKs in Rise of Kingdoms history, where the biggest kingdoms in the game are going to battle. Not even exaggeration. This is happening, and we're queued up for it. And we didn't skip 4 times to get there. We had a tough KVK, and we're queued up right freaking away. But guess who's joining in on the fun? Yep, your eyes don't deceive you. Dragothien is now in Kingdom 75. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in this video, sponsored by the makers of Rise of Kingdoms, I'm talking about why Dragothien migrated to 75, what his special mission is, and just a little bit of, like, the behind the scenes about what it means to be a content creator for this game, and the weird decisions that take place that, you know, like, normally might not happen. So, what's going on here? Dragothien is in 75. He actually sent me a message. He said, hey, Chisgule, I would like to migrate to fight 475 in this KVK. Do you have a ticket so I can bring a T5 account? We don't have a ticket. And the thing is that Dragothien is probably the only Rise of Kingdoms content creator to fully zero his account in a KVK. Just think about that for a second. So, like, would I say no to Dragothien wanting to come here with a T5 account that he will almost certainly zero? Like, it's hard to say no to that, but we couldn't bring it. Not possible. No tickets. Not in my hands. I have no option to bring his full T5 account. So what did he bring? 33 million power account. Now, before you shrug this off and laugh, let me tell you what the challenge is that he's set. He will get to 30 million kills. That's his goal. 30 million kills. Now, as a leader of the kingdom, anyone who wants to come to the kingdom, and actually, I believe that he's got a chance, a very small chance, but a chance of getting to 30 million kills. I mean, that's all upside for me, right? But the other piece of the puzzle, as a leader of the kingdom, is that I would love for an account that migrated in, that had no resources to start, that had, you know, I mean, it's 33 million power. If they can get to 30 million kills, then it's very easy for me, as a leader of this kingdom, to point to that and say, look, like, it was achievable to get to whatever the minimum contribution score. Dragothien even got to 30 freaking million kills. So... And his account's 33 million power. So it's very easy for me to point to T5 accounts and be like, you see what he did? Because you got way more tech than he does. You got way more resources than he did. You got better commanders than he did. And look, Dragothien got to 30 million kills. Now, can he get to 30 million kills? I do not think that he can. I think that there is maybe a 5% chance. And you know, we were talking about this on Gecko's stream. Gecko's like, I'd give him a 1% chance, not even, right? And I think it was, I forget, it was less than 50% of people thought he could do it, but almost 50% of people thought that Drago could get it done. I think with enough time and enough resources, enough speed ups, anybody can do it. But obviously the limitation is on all of those things: time, resources, and speed ups. And Dragothien's limited on all, which is why we've got him in Wolf for now. We had one temporary spot available, and we were just kind of like, you know what, man? Let's just give him for like the 1 week before we get into KVK, and then we get a ton of extra member slots anyways. Sure, let's just give him a spot in Wolf. We'll give him a chance to get like a tiny amount of VIP and speed ups and gold keys and a little bit of resources and AP potions from, you know, the Barb Forts we're rallying, just to give him like a little bit of nudge because he's got nothing. And of course, the next thing you know, I don't even know how. Oh, I guess everybody knows because Drago made a video about this too. But the next thing you know, I've got a whole bunch of people messaging me saying, Chisgule, if I promise to get to 30 million kills, can I come into Wolf too? And it's like, bro, take it easy. The way the contribution in this kingdom works, that system is unchanged. You want to come to Wolf, you got to be in like the top 110 performers by contribution score in the kingdom. We got a whole system for that, okay? So none of that has changed. And by the way, for the record, when Dragothien migrated here, before he and I had like sort of finalized like, yeah, come on in and come on over to Wolf and talked about that, he migrated anyways, and he applied to a bunch of other alliances and they were all rejecting him, which I think is hilarious and correct. Dude, if you see a Chisgule in your kingdom, guess what? It ain't me, because there's only one of me, and I'm in 2 kingdoms. I'm here and I'm in 2293, and technically I'm in Kingdom 2, but that account is mostly for just peeking to see like, what are the events today, right? So is there anything new? And they don't even do that anymore. So I got to figure out, like, what am I going to do with that account? But I thought it was pretty funny that all the alliances were rejecting Drago until they got to PO. And then finally they were like, okay, fine. You're probably legit. And, you know, pretty much every alliance we have, all 6 in Zone 3, are full of real players. Now, I have to say, like, the kingdoms we're about to go battle against have a lot more power than we do, and it's going to get very interesting. It's going to get very, very interesting. But we do have a lot of players. And so if we can mobilize everybody, that would be pretty amazing. And look, like, if players perform in the top tier of performers for the kingdom, then yes, then you can potentially join Wolf. That is a possibility, right? But otherwise, we've got this system that most kingdoms do not have, where if you want to be in Wolf in our kingdom, we like have stacked a lot of players that do the most spending in one place. And part of that's convenience for Arc. It's just a lot more convenient that everybody's in the same place. But a part of that is the fact that the people who contribute the most go on to, again, contribute the most, and go on again to contribute the most, and don't generally quit or get frustrated and have a hissy fit or like all these things where, like, we end up having to zero people that just decide they don't want to care anymore, you know? And every kingdom has this problem. Don't pretend like you don't. Every kingdom has people that quit or don't contribute. And any kingdom that thinks they don't have people that don't contribute has a misunderstanding of reality, where they aren't actually keeping track of what's happening in their kingdom. There's like nearly 0 kingdoms where everybody actually contributes. I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay, so now I want to talk about this from the content creator perspective, because Chisgule Gaming, the content creator, has been saying for a long time that I'm not going to go to somebody else's KVK and cover it. Not going to do it. I feel like that's their content to show, okay? And the perfect example of why that's so important is if you look at, for example, when Gecko was streaming the 401 KVK. Dude was getting a ton of views. And a part of the reason was because, like, if you wanted to see the KVK, you had to watch it from his perspective. I think that's cool. I think that's how it should be, you know? When someone is in the thick of a tough KVK, like, it should be really cool to stream it, and people should want to watch from the person who's playing it, not somebody who's looking in my opinion, okay? But here's the other side of things, which is that, like, look, I've had the opportunity to become a full-time content creator, and that is because I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, all 3 of those things, man. You can try to guess the proportion in the comments if you want, what's blood, what's sweat, and what's tears, but it is the most work I have ever done for any job ever in my entire life. I have worked at startups. I've worked in really difficult situations I say against, but with difficult personalities, and I've had no job harder than being a content creator. It's the hardest, most time-consuming, most intense job I've ever had, even though what I'm doing is making content about games. Like, it's intense work, and it's a lot of it. But there's upside, and there's fun to that, right? I enjoy it, and I'm okay with that. But I'm saying all of that because, like, I have had the opportunity to become a full-time content creator. And so if another content creator is going to come along and they say, hey, like, Chisgule, like, I want to be here and I want to be streaming your KVK, especially Dragothien, who, like, I've got a great relationship with and we're good friends. Like, I'm not going to say no to him. No way, right? There's no way I'm going to say no. And the reality is that, like, dude, like, I'm not patting myself on the back when I say this, but it's just facts that, like, if you look at my views and then you look at, like, the next 6 biggest Rise of Kingdoms channels, like, you combine all their views together and I've got about as many as all of them do. So I feel like I would be a real ass if I was like, you can't come here and you can't stream because my kingdom, it's mine. Like, I just don't feel like that's the right mindset. And it's not a mindset I hold. So a bunch of people were advising me, which I very much appreciate, that, like, Chisgule, business is business, my guy. Like, you will lose views if somebody else is streaming. I'm like, that's probably true. But I also think that there's an opportunity to do that in a way where everybody wins. And I'm sure we'll find a way to do that. You know what I mean? So if you enjoyed this video and you're hyped for this KVK and you were interested in the behind the scenes stuff about, like, I don't know, my thoughts as a content creator, because I don't normally talk about that too much, but if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, throw a like on here. And if you're hyped for this KVK, where how do I say this? I'm not going to say this in a contentious way, but it's going to be some big kingdoms that team up. There's going to be some big fights here. It's going to be really crazy. I don't know how it's going to go down. I don't know who's going to ally with who. All I know is that our intention for this KVK was to say, you know what? The issue of like having great allies, let's just make sure we go in with a really badass ally that we're really eager to play with, right? And we'll talk about all that real soon. So subscribe if you want to see that. And until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom. Leave a comment down below. Is Drago getting to 30 million kills? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. But what do you think?